We're here with our friend, our sheriff. That's right, our Sheriff Mike Chapman of Loudoun County, Virginia, and I wouldn't bring Mike on unless there was something very important going on here. It seems to be ground zero for everything, Mike, Loudoun County, Virginia. You have an MS-13 gang member who was arrested and charged with murdering a couple. Can you tell us what took place there?
Back in August 28th, and I can tell you it took an enormous amount of work to locate, to identify this person as the suspect in the murder. We had a young couple, 22-year-old couple, both Hispanic, but they were both here legally, and we have an illegal resident, illegal alien that committed the crime. His name is Marlene Medrano Ortiz, all of 18 years old, shot and killed. Two people died as a result. We haven't charged on one. We're looking at other charges to confirm on the other. But it was an amazing amount of work that our detectives and everybody put into this, from K-9 to our folks.
But what exactly happened in this case here?
What happened was this: they had this couple was walking back to their apartment over there off of Ridgetop Circle in the Sterling area. As they were walking to their apartment, they encountered this group in a parking lot behind the apartment complex. Got into a little bit of an argument there, and this individual, from what we understand, pulled out a gun and shot both of them. And so we haven't charged on one. They were both transported to the hospital and died by the time they got to the hospital. So just a tragic thing. 18 years old, MS-13 member, and it followed just a month after we had that carjacking that happened at the 7-Eleven in Sterling as well, where the illegal alien there, Mr. Aguilar, tried to carjack with a car. As he was doing that, the owner of the car, Ms. Waldecker, lady in her 50s, was in Loudoun County visiting her mom at assisted living and has grandchildren of her own, went to go to the car. She gets knocked down, gets run over by him, and dies there at the scene. I mean, so we have, what you're talking about is one of the safest counties in the entire United States, and what we're seeing here is just kind of indicative of what's going on across the United States here, and certainly a result of, what's going on with the border and the tens of millions of illegal migrants that are coming over that border, and we're just, we hear often that every state's a border state, and this really kind of proves it. I mean, when you have a community like this, I can tell you this, that in the past 10 years, we've had almost no gang activity. We have some gang members from MS-13 and the 18th Street Gang here, mostly in the Sterling area, and we haven't had any activity. We'd had a couple murders back then about 10 years ago, and everything's been kind of quiet, and all of a sudden it started picking back up mostly with fentanyl. We started experiencing that, a rise in that a couple of years ago. In fact, did a great case with the Drug Enforcement Administration and grabbed enough fentanyl that was coming in from Mexico into California and all the way across the United States into D.C. That would kill every man, woman, and child 2 times over, at least in Loudoun County. So it's a shame, Mark, what I'm seeing here and across the country. I'm on the executive board for the National Sheriffs. I'm on with Major County Sheriffs of America, and we track all this stuff. And I tell you what, what I'm seeing here is bad, but it's nothing compared to what they're seeing. These border sheriffs are seeing down there, and it's been horrible for the last several years. Obviously, under this administration.
I mean, it just amazes me because this isn't this isn't Mother Nature. This is a man-made disaster. It's affecting every corner of this country. It's affecting suburban counties like Loudoun County and all over the country here. I mean, these are vile, vicious gang members. That's what they know. That's what they're taught. And we open our doors to them. We don't even know who these people are, really, do we, Sheriff Chapman?
I tell you what, you're right. They don't. And in fact, we had a hard time identifying the one that was involved in the carjacking that ended up. And fortunately we got him charged with first-degree murder in that case. So, but it's just terrible. And I can tell you this, when under the last administration, under President Trump, sheriffs nationwide were respected, and we get called down to the White House. I was down there several times, and we would have meetings with some of his personnel, sometimes directly with the president himself. And I was with him when he signed his opioid bill. I was in a Rose Garden when he did his Police Reform Act. I sat around roundtable on MS-13 discussions with him, and he seemed to really, really care about law enforcement, about public safety, about keeping us safe. And I can tell you, in the past 4 years, what we've seen since this administration has been in, I don't know personally of any sheriff that's been invited to talk to anybody down there. They just don't seem to care what's going on with law enforcement and seem to be working against us rather than working with us. And so Tuesday is going to be a big day, and let's hope it certainly goes in the right direction.
Amen to that. And you have another situation there, right? You have an anti-Semitic graffiti situation that you've resolved?
Yeah, we did, and we're still, we have a warrant for the individual that did this. We're not going to put his name out just yet because we're working through some contacts to try to get a hold of him. But yeah, back in May, there were 4 Starbucks that were hit, and they had all kinds of graffiti, mostly in the Ashburn area there. They had everything from Victory to Hamas to Free Gaza, Death to America. It's just unconscionable. The stuff that was going on all over the place, wrong side of history, from the river to the sea. And again, it took us an enormous amount of work, like it did with this homicide. When you talk about all the gumshoe work and knocking on doors and using all our assets, whether it's investigations, canines, you name it, everything that we had. And in this particular case, we worked real hard. We're able to identify this individual and have him charged now with 2 of the four Starbucks that were hit for both destruction of property and for wearing a mask to conceal his identity in the commission of a crime. So it's felony charge. Both are felony charges. So we're happy. It took us a while to do this, but I can tell you what, we're just not going to put up with that garbage here.
Let me just say this: you're a fantastic sheriff. Mike Chapman, Loudoun County. I've got to know him well. He's just terrific. And thank you for what you're doing, Sheriff. We really appreciate it. And don't ignore what he said. You got to vote, folks. You got to vote. Even if it's in your own self-defense, you need to vote.